Hey my friend, welcome back to the channel. Spencer Glasgow here, and today I want to talk about a very important aspect of your business that is going to help you scale beyond the levels that you thought were possible. Now, the topic of this video is why you can't get your revenue, your sales, to $10,000 plus per month. That's kind of like the glorified number that everyone's after, is $10,000 a month with my online business. Again, if this is a physical product on Shopify or Amazon, if you're a coach, you have a coaching program, a monthly subscription program with your coaching, mentoring, masterminds, anything that's an e-commerce product, specifically here, this will directly translate into helping your business get beyond that $10,000 plus mark. And then from there, things will scale. It's amazing how fast things scale. When I got past that $10,000 per month threshold, within 4 months, it was just under 4 months, I hit my first $100,000 a month. It was just over $103,000 in sales, and things just took off. And then within 2 months from there, did just about $250,000 in sales. And the business, your business, can just completely go on this upward trajectory as long as you're keeping everything in place. You have your inventory, you have more products, you're staying engaged with your audience, you're doing all the right steps. If you do those right things and deliver for your customers, what I'm about to break down here will really help you get to that level and scale to a 6-figure business or 7-figure business if you desire to grow that large. It is 100% doable. And living through this and being on both sides of the spectrum, I've been able to gain so much clarity, especially with studying all the gurus and having the courses, just really going deep and granular on why I did what I did and the reasons why things happen the way they happen and how I was able to go within 4 months. And previous to that, month after month after month, only doing 2,000, 3,000, 7,000 maybe, and just bouncing around. And then did some paid ads and blew away almost $5,000, just around $4,000, until I figured out exactly what I needed to do and implement, which are these 3 strategies here. So the first one is very important, and they all kind of correlate and tie together. So they're really going to be able to build from one another. So the first thing, as always, is your ads are completely off, or you aren't running ads at all. If you're not running ads at all, that's a big problem, because there is so much revenue that you can be generating when you have your ads set up correctly and when they're optimized. You have to have all of those ducks in a row. I've learned this from personal experience. I've learned this from spending over $1 million within Facebook on paid ads, Facebook, Instagram, and being able to build a 7-figure brand with just one product. It's $30 in the $30 price range, sometimes do some discounts. And I've been able to do all these things, and it's been able to help me build it to, now it's a multi-7-figure business, and approaching that 8-figure level. And just with the one product that I've branded, that I've created, and selling it each and every day with Facebook ads, have a little bit of Google ads, but Facebook is where all the money is starting out and scaling to the 7-figure level. And I wouldn't want anyone to start anywhere else. So making sure that you have those ads fine-tuned, you're looking at the data, you're looking at the age ranges. That's one thing that I didn't do at all. I didn't know that you could go into your ads and go look and see, the different cities, the different counties, the different age ranges, the different the different genders, and refining those ad sets and refining those specific ads that were performing well in this area over here, to funneling it down more towards that focused group. I didn't know that I could look at data. So if you're not looking at your data, that's one massive thing that will prevent you from getting out of that $3,000, $6,000, $8,000 per month kind of window. It's such a frustrating time, because it feels like it's never going to end. It feels like you've done everything, and some of you may have done a lot, but unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and my goal is to ultimately have integrity. And like, I truly want to help you if you're watching this video and you're subscribed to my channel to get value and to be able to grow a business that can provide you freedom and that can provide you a complete life change that is done for me, but it's come at a cost. It's come at working consistently, working hard, working diligently. But if you put in that work, it completely works. It's just a matter of time. And especially if you have the plan, the system, the blueprint, which I did not have whatsoever. I wasted so much money, tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars, and almost quit because I had so much anxiety and depression because I just wanted to work so badly. So my goal, again, is to provide you the most succinct content and information, and really just shoot me a message or shoot me a comment, and I'll get back to each and every one of you because I do truly care. And I know how much of an impact this has made on my life. And so in return, in exchange, I want to, share this forward and put this out there for you. So making sure that you're running ads and that you're running those ads correctly, that you have the right systems in place. One thing that I had no idea of was retargeting. And some of you have probably been doing retargeting ads. There's so many different things that can get messed up along the way. You could have your pixel set up incorrectly so that you're not retargeting essentially anybody, and there could be some disruptions between the pixel and who actually went to the website, who went to the home page, who went to the product page, and then who went to the checkout page, and then the add to cart, or the payment info page, and then purchase page. And having all of those different pages segregated and set up correctly within Facebook so that you're hitting the right people with the right messaging if they didn't purchase from your first ad, driving them from an ad to your website, or from your ad to maybe a webinar if you're selling coaching, a monthly mastermind. If you don't have that pixel set up correctly, and I'll include this in the most three important aspects to get above that $10,000 per month, you won't be able to scale your business, and you're going to keep being confused, and there's so many things that can go wrong from the get-go when you're new, or when you've just been repeating the same things over and over. So making sure that pixel is optimized, is set up, making sure that you're setting up retargeting campaigns that are segregated from each other, and where you're targeting different types of people, people that have visited your site maybe within 0 to 3 days, and then you have 4 days to 10 days, and then 10 days to 30 days. I had no idea. There is so much, depending on your product, it might be the 4 to 12 day window where you're seeing the highest ROAS, which is return on ad spend, where you're getting 3, 4, 6, 8x return on your money that you're putting into your ads with that retargeting campaign, which is 100% doable and totally possible. You found that sweet spot, and Facebook, with its genius artificial intelligence, has found that specific audience. So you have to make sure you have these these rules set up where you're testing the 0 to 10 days, 10 to 20 days, 10 to 30, and a function basically, somewhere along those lines of having windows where there's a couple days and you're testing those in chunks. I recommend 3 different windows, split testing those for a week, and then seeing which one performs the best. There's going to be one obvious winner. There might be 2, and then turning off the one that's not winning, the one that's not producing, a 3 or 4 or 5 or an 8x return on ad spend. And it's just a function of testing and knowing how to set those up correctly. The retargeting campaigns are so critical because you have to send that message, you have to send that product or that service to that targeted individual more than one time. It's very unlikely they're going to purchase just from the first click. It can happen. It happens. I do it every single day in my business. But the retargeting campaigns is where you're going to see most of your money. because I think there's some statistic out there where it says like it takes 6 or 7 times for a consumer to see an advertisement, to see the product until they purchase. That's totally true. And your frequency rates, which is the amount of time that your ad has shown to certain people, you may be cutting it off at like a 5 or a 4, which means simply on average, the people that are being retargeted are seeing your ad 4 or 5 times, and then it shuts off. They fall out of that window of 0 to 10 days, and then it's the new batch of people as each day goes on in time. So just really making sure that you're testing the frequency. And for me, some of my ad campaigns, retargeting campaigns, have been all the way up to as high as like a 10, 11, I think maybe a 12, which means someone's seen the ad 10 or 12 times. And that can be pretty common. So just making sure you understand that, with that frequency score, which is the number of times that someone has seen your ad, not being afraid to go above that 5 or 7 or 8, 9, 10 threshold, because sometimes people just don't see it. They see it, but they don't see it. So not being afraid to increase that frequency and have that retargeting get higher and higher and higher, that cadence of frequency, which will then allow them to purchase. And if you have a number of different ads that are retargeting, they're seeing different messaging interwoven throughout the process of seeing your ads. And at a certain point, they see that message and it just strikes a certain part psychologically, and then they click on the ad and they purchase. So retargeting, so critical. So the second aspect, the second extremely important point that I want to make here to help you get above $10,000 per month with your business, and why you're stuck in that 4-figure range, is you're using the wrong target audience. You've pitched the product in a way that whoever you're trying to target, it's not ideal for them. They're not resonating with it. It's not built for them. And a lot of this can be done within Facebook and your Facebook ads manager, and making sure that you're hitting the right audiences. But what people don't do here is they don't test enough audiences. And you can run budgets of $3, $4, $5 of each different audience at an ad set level, and test 10 different audiences, at $2 or $3, and then go see what those, the cost per click is onto your website, and go take the top 3 or top 4 and use those as, the ads to then start scaling up, and then start refining and seeing out of those 4, which 1 or 2 or 3 maybe are yielding that big 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x maybe, whatever your product might be, return on ad spend, because you narrow down the exact audience, the exact customer avatar that your product or service is most fit for. So the audience thing is huge, because some people, if you're selling, let's say for example, yoga mats, and you're targeting, let's say you're targeting women who also like the outdoors, that could potentially work. But if you're only targeting that, or you're only targeting people that are interested in yoga, which in Facebook you can do that, Facebook doesn't have every single person that's interested in yoga per se. And so you might want to branch out into people who are interested in a certain magazine that happens to correlate with something that's naturopathic or something that's homeopathic, and kind of broadening your net. Actually, it's a completely counterintuitive approach. If any of you have read the book The Art of War by Sun Tzu, he talks about finding that beachhead, finding that customer, that singular customer profile, and sending messages directly to them. And that's what we're doing. But when we start with Facebook ads, we're taking a broad approach, and then narrowing it down with the data that Facebook provides us. I had no idea this was the thing until I started spending a couple $100 a day in ads, and then $1,000, and then $1,500, and then several thousand, and then the biggest days that I've spent have been $6,000, just over $6,000. And I've had to really understand this on a granular level to be able to get to this level, or else people aren't going to buy my product, the audiences that I'm targeting. So understanding that you shouldn't go way too broad, but if it's a yoga product targeting, women who are also, or men and women, and then breaking those out into, sub ad sets and doing, that might be confusing, but just different ad sets. An ad set, again, is simply just a division of your ads where you get the set up the targeting. It could be the retargeting on your website, or it could be the targeting, the Facebook targeting, interest-based targeting that we're talking about here, where someone's interested in healthy living or the outdoors, or veganism, keto diet. Not just going directly to the yoga, but branching out just slightly, ever so slightly, and then maybe testing one or two target audiences that might be a little out there, a little unrelated, because you're going to get Facebook to use this AI to be able to find those people that are apt to purchasing, or the most apt to purchasing your product. So the wrong target audience can prevent you, again, from your business getting out of that $2,000, $3,000, $6,000 range and going to that $10,000 range and taking off exponentially from there. So the last point that I want to go over, and this builds on the running the ads, this builds on the target audience. This is now messaging. Messaging is, I overlooked it. I just didn't think that it was that important. I just thought, kind of throw up an ad and put in, some words and test a couple and see what it does. And long story short, it took me several months of banging my head against the wall, essentially, of not getting any results. I mean, sales were coming in, but I wasn't seeing the massive results where, the 3x, the 4x, the 6x return on ad spend was coming in. So really making sure that you have your messaging dialed in, because this is a total psychology game. We're not trying to manipulate people. What we're trying to do is we're trying to position our product as eloquently, if you want to say, and as relevant as possible, so that when someone sees your ad, it immediately catches their attention and they're engaged and they're reading your text, they're reading your copy, and it hits a chord somewhere in their body, somewhere in their mind, to then cause them to click. Your messaging is so important. And going, a little deeper into messaging, the biggest reason why people purchase is because of pain, is because of a pain point in their life. They want something simpler. They want a better solution. So if you can pose your product in an eloquent enough way, in a direct enough way, and succinct, short, condensed, but bold, and testing, 10 different headlines, that could be the difference between doing $2,000 a month and doing $200,000 a month. Again, I've done this, I've seen this, and you have to test. And it could just be a few words. It could be, anywhere from, do you get this, or do you have this? It could be the difference between get and have. It just caught someone's attention differently, and the majority of humans differently. So what I usually do is I write out, a long list on my notes on my computer, and I'll just go through, 10 or 20 or 30 different variations of all of the key benefits for the person, not talking about the product, but talking about the benefits for the person, what they're going to experience in their life, not the product at all. You do not want to talk about your product yet. You have to get their attention. You have to allow that initial split second that you have, it's within seconds that you have to get their attention, to have a chord struck within their mind, within their brain, to register that the ad given, presented in front of them, is valuable and is relevant in their day-to-day life. So really nailing down your messaging is so important. I'm going to go into more videos on each one of these topics, but I just wanted to get these three across. You can start implementing these today. There's so many resources to be able to improve your messaging. So I really just hope that this information makes sense. If there's any questions, make sure to please leave a comment. I'm always here. I want to help you. I just know there's so much potential because I was like seriously, honestly, so close. Only a couple grand in the business bank account that I had left from just years and years of working and then procrastinating. I absolutely was not working every single day because I was depressed. I was anxious. Like I just didn't know what I was gonna do with my life until the roadmap just kind of all came together. And everything that I have learned, everything that I had studied, that had taken me years and years and tens of thousands of dollars of, I don't want to say wasted money, but of money that provided me the education that I have today that has allowed me to grow a multi seven figure brand with just one product. That's like the hardest thing to do. The best thing to do is to have a higher price product and have it be repeat purchase. This is not a repeat purchase product. Some people, they'll come back and they'll buy a second product. But most people, they only buy one, and it's a one-off deal. So I really hope this video helped in some way. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys are finding value. I'm going to be dropping so many more. I'm going to be releasing so many more videos, and I really just want to make sure that I'm having a positive impact and that there is value here. So make sure to like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me to help reach more people, specifically those people that need the help, that want the genuine, true direction of how to grow a successful online business that can go beyond the 4-figure level per month and do $20,000, $50,000, $80,000, $100,000 per month. But you have to have that framework. And for these bigger, the bigger numbers, 7 figures, I will be going more in depth because it isn't just, throw up some ads and it's going to happen. Obviously, there is a lot more to it. But right now, if you're under $10,000 in sales, please do these 3 things. Please, really start just writing down what you can do, strategizing, and then implementing and taking action. Because at the end of the day, if you don't take action, you're just missing so much opportunity, and it can really cause damage deep down subconsciously, which it did for me. Not for everyone, but for me, I was kind of creating my own self-fulfilling prophecy by not taking the action and expecting that things would change, and then taking some action, not seeing a result, and then getting all worked up about it. Inside my head, the head is an amazing place, and it can do both amazingly positive and negative things. If any of you are still here listening, listening to my rambling, I appreciate you, and I'm sorry that I'm going off, but it's a real thing, and it's so important, the mindset aspect of all this too. So I hope this was of value. I'm so grateful for you guys. Leave any comments of any videos or any topics that you would maybe want me to put together in a video, and I will do that. So you guys take care, and we'll see you guys on the next video.